What's up, guys? Welcome back. Happy Friday. Today we are taking a look at the different applications or options for remote shutter releases or remote shutter switches for still cameras. If you're flying video and you're mounting a still camera on your helmet, these are things you will need. So let's get right to it. Alright, so today we're going to take a look at a few of the options that we carry and have in stock. Everything that we have in stock, remember the links are below, and our website is real-time live inventory for what we currently have available and ready to ship. So if you're mounting a camera on your helmet, a still camera or a mirrorless camera, DSLR camera, whatever you want to call it, you will need a remote shutter release, or commonly known as a bite switch or a tongue switch or a blow switch. Depending on the camera, either Canon, Nikon, or Sony, you will have different applications. Some will be direct connection, mostly Canon and Nikon's. In Sony's, you will need an adapter for the multi-terminal port. I'll show you a few of these examples in just a minute and what applications for each you can find on the website and what are the most common ones. There are some cameras though that they don't have a remote shutter release port. So that's really important when you get your camera, or if you're doing research to buy a new camera to put on your helmet, that the actual camera has a remote shutter release port or a remote shutter switch jack, like a 2.5 millimeter jack is the most common one, but you'll see the little symbol looks like remote. If it's just a headphone jack, that will not work, because the headphone jack is usually 3.5 and not 2.5. Also, if your camera has a multi-terminal, most Sonys have. Other manufacturers probably don't, because it's a Sony proprietary technology, the multi-terminals. Basically, you can charge the camera, download information, or use it as a shutter release. So we have adapters for that as well. But check your camera, check your user manual, or if you're looking into buying a new camera, just make sure that that camera has a remote shutter switch. If there's no applications or no adapters for it, unfortunately you cannot use that camera for videography, for camera flying. All right, direct connection remote shutter switches basically will be those that connect to your camera, whatever your camera is, without the use of an adapter. In this case, some cameras will have something similar to a stereo jack with the remote shutter switch symbol, and you just connect them and you're good to go. You connect your bite switch or tongue switch or blow switch with a 2.5 millimeter jack, and that is that little symbol that you want to look for on whatever camera that you have. This will apply to any camera that has a remote shutter connection, either a digital plug, 2.5 millimeter switch, or a multi-terminal port. That's the symbol for your remote shutter switch. And depending on your camera, it will be located next to the microphone port, where you connect the headphones or whatnot, but it has that specific symbol. These are the applications for the 2.5 millimeter jack connector. For the digital plug applications, here's a list of cameras that will work. Now, if your camera has a multi-terminal connector, there's some direct applications for this option as well. For Sony's and some Nikons, you will need to connect a 2.5 millimeter jack with the Sony multi-port adapter, which will allow you to connect the 2.5 millimeter jack, bite switches, or tongue switches to the camera. And there's two options, the standard or flipped. Basically, one sticks down and the other one sticks up 90 degrees. Also, there are newer cameras out now that don't have that remote shutter release port that I mentioned earlier. And they usually have a wireless connection via an app through your phone, or a Bluetooth wireless controller, which you can just activate the shutter via a wireless control, or again via the app. If your camera or the camera you're looking into buying is one of these that don't have a port and that has an app, or usually you won't be able to use it with a bite switch or a tongue switch or a blow switch. Okay, so let's say if you're looking for those switches, you go to the shop camera section, Skydive camera gear, and then camera switch. Click on that category, and everything related to remote shutter switches that we have currently in stock will appear. So here you'll see you have the Trunks blow switch, Conceptus bite switch, tongue switch, Sony multi-terminal adapter for 2.5mm plug, 2.5mm camera plug wire so you can do your own wiring, and a Samsung adapter as well. So that's what we currently have in stock. We don't have the older Nikons that we used to have because those cameras, as they have released new models, there have been many changes on remote shutter connection. Now they're wireless, or they function through an app. So be mindful when you're ordering, or when you're planning to order a new camera, if the camera actually has a physical shutter port, or a multi-terminal port, or a 2.5mm jack for a remote shutter. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to get our latest notifications. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.